Hello and welcome back once again to movie reviews. As you can see, it's a lot later in the afternoon. Didn't get to see Guardians of the Galaxy like I was planning because the times ran too close together, as I said before. But I did come back over to the home theater here. As you can see, I'm back in my normal spot. It's a lot later in the afternoon, so I got the camera light on, so I gotta keep this kind of short because this drains the battery a lot faster. But I came back over here because they were having a showing of Rifftrax Live Godzilla. It's the 2000 or 1998, 2000-ish version of Godzilla with Ferris Bueller. What was his name? Matthew Broderick. So I liked the last Rifftrax Live, so I figured, what the hell, I'll check this one out. Overall, I don't know if it's just because how late it is and I'm kind of tired, or just the horrible audio quality that the theater had tonight. I didn't dig this one as much as I was into the Sharknado one. Maybe it's just, could be a lot of things. When I first went in, the masking curtain for the screen was half down, so it was kind of hard to watch. So I had to actually leave and go out in the hallway and go up to the concession stand and tell them, hey, can you fix the damn screen thing? So they got that fixed finally, and then they start playing the thing because it was during the post-roll stuff that was going on. So then they start the movie and there's no audio. So I gotta get up and go back out again, tell the guy, hey, there's no audio. So they come in, fix the audio. Okay, didn't miss anything because they had this new opening cartoon sequence, so I missed that. And then, unlike the last time, they really didn't add anything extra. They didn't do a short. They didn't talk about what was coming up next or any of the stuff like they did in the last one. They just jumped straight into the movie. They're like, hey, we're, the guys from Rifftrax, blah, blah, blah. And here's Godzilla, and it just started. So it really wasn't getting anything extra for the money out of this one other than the show. And then the audio quality, I don't know if it's because there was no audio so they didn't have time to sync it up properly, but it was just really off. Like I said, it could have just been the theater or it could have been this Rifftrax, but at first I couldn't hear the Rifftrax guys over the movie audio. I could hear them talking, but I couldn't hear anything they were saying. Then, it got reversed to where you could barely hear anything that was going on in the movie, and you could hear the Rifftrax guys, but they were excessively loud. Then it kind of balanced out for a while, and then, randomly, it would just, one audio or the other would just boom really loud. All of a sudden, the Rifftrax guys are ridiculously loud again, or the movie's ridiculously loud again, or it was just back and forth. It was kind of annoying. The jokes in this one weren't as good as in Sharknado. I didn't laugh quite as much. Not that it was bad on their part. I did laugh, I think, a total of 3 times. One was just kind of a chuckle, 2 were actually big laughs. I kind of smirked at a couple obscure references that they threw out that most of the audience that was in attendance at the live show didn't get, but I actually got, so I kind of smirked at that. I'm not going to tell you what they were. Go watch it. But yeah, overall, this one, maybe it's just another thing is where Sharknado is ridiculously bad on purpose. It knows it's bad and it's trying to do it to be funny. Godzilla just wasn't that. People say, oh, it's so bad it's hilarious, and not really. It was a mediocre film to begin with. I used to give it a little bit more credit, oh, it wasn't that bad, but sitting through this again and watching it and hearing someone trying to make fun of it, it's just why this movie? Why didn't you pick something else? Do one of the original Godzillas, or, another Gamera movie, or, something that I can watch at home on Netflix, for Mystery Science Theater 3000. Why didn't you do something like that? Make it where there was actually something to laugh at instead. I mean, when something's mediocre, it's hard to riff it to the point where you get a lot of laughs out of it. Even the studio audience that they had on the film barely laughed at anything. yeah, it just probably wasn't the best film to choose. And I know you guys try, I appreciate that, but do something better next month, hopefully. Although they didn't announce doing anything next month, so who knows. So yeah, I just don't find Godzilla that comedically bad, where like Sharknado I do. Pretty much the only thing that I really laughed at hard was when they made the Room reference. Yeah, you just have to see it to understand it, to get the hilarity of it. Would I recommend seeing this one or purchasing it as far as like a DVD or buying the Riff audio and then playing it over your own copy? Probably not. Like I said, it wasn't that their jokes were bad. It could have just been the sound quality that I had tonight. But it was a mediocre attempt at best to make light of something that was already mediocre. Again, I'm not going to give it a star rating because I'd be rating the movie and the Rifftrax separately, and I'm not going to do that. But this one wasn't really worth the extra money. Probably could have sat this one out. So yeah, we'll just leave it at that. Again, though, it's Rifftrax, so if it comes to your area, check it out. You know, sometimes you're surprised at how funny something can be. Other times it's like, you know, good effort, but you know. Was gonna go see The Giver because that starts at 10:15. It was in the theater right next to the one I just came out of, and they don't really monitor anything here, so I could have easily walked into it. But like I said, I'm getting kind of tired, so I want to go home and get these uploaded and maybe edit a couple of them before I have to go to bed because I do have to be to work tomorrow. But not till later on in the evening, so I don't know. If I don't go see something at the other theater again tomorrow morning, then I'll probably go Friday because I don't work till late evening on Friday. And plus I get paid on Friday, so it might be a little bit easier to do that then. So, yeah. Actually, no, ridiculously, over at the other theater, I could have theater hopped there too because the theater's like really kind of old, which I actually liked about it. It was nice to have kind of a retro feel to it, but like they didn't monitor anything there. Like when I first got my ticket, I came in, there was no one at the door checking, so I just kind of walked over to the bathroom, and when I was coming back out, the lady's like, "Hey, did I see your ticket yet?" I'm like, "No, here you go." But I could have just like went into any theater and wouldn't have mattered. When I came out of Expendables, Into the Storm was at the theater down at the end of the hall, and it was a short hallway. If I didn't have to go to the bathroom right then, I could have just walked over to it and not paid for that. As I was coming out of that, I saw where Lucy was playing. So again, I could have just slipped into that instead of paying for the ticket. The only downfall is they didn't have the digital displays above the doors that show the time, so for all I know, they could have been playing it in multiple theaters, and I could have walked into the wrong one, which is the only reason I went out to buy tickets, was just to make sure I was in the right theater. Where here, they do have the digital displays, and as I was coming out of the theater for Rifftrax, just look up, there's The Giver at 10:15. Could have just slipped in, but I'm not going to do that because that's wrong, and I support the movie industry. I don't know why, because they keep giving us horrible garbage like Godzilla, which actually I haven't seen the new one. I heard the new one was pretty good, but who knows. Anyway, just kind of rambling now, so that's it for tonight. Like I said, if I don't get to see something tomorrow, it'll be probably Friday. Not sure when all these will get posted. I'm going to try and space them out over the next week or two, instead of just flooding them all out in one day. So yeah, as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next episode of Movie Reviews.